Hey everyone, I think this is working. Are we live? Yep, awesome stuff. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Two Geeks podcast with me. Because Stephen's not here. Stephen is his birthday in 2 days, and so he's off having fun with his friends. Wish him all the best. However, this is still the Two Geeks podcast, and therefore I have invited my good friend Henry Calvert to join me on the podcast today. Hello, Henry. You are live.
Hello. I am live now. Amazing. Hi, James. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Very glad to have you here.
Good. Yes, it's good to be here. I'm looking forward to chatting all things geeky with you.
Oh, right place. Sorry, I just last second got hit with a text message and my brain's just frazzled and I forgot everything I was going to say. But no, got Henry today, which is phenomenal. The Two Geek podcast can continue. For anyone who doesn't know, I know Henry the same way I know Stephen. And how is that, Henry?
Well, we met on a reality show, Beauty and the Geek. We were the beauties, obviously.
Obviously. I mean, look at us.
100%. And we met. We were just saying nearly 2 years ago now. We filmed that show, and yeah,
Crazy.
it feels like an absolute lifetime ago at this point.
It really does, doesn't it? It's like, especially for you, like your whole world has exploded since.
Yeah, it's been quite the journey since we filmed. It's like everything changed just after we finished, after we wrapped, and it's been a wild old time since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you especially. It's been pretty tame for me. But you've been all over the place.
It's a big change for you though. Like you moved, you met your girlfriend,
True.
like, everything's changed. New jobs.
Actually, yeah, that's a very good point. I don't know if I said on the podcast yet, but I did meet my girlfriend through the show, technically. I don't know if you knew that story.
I do know that story.
Yeah,
Jordan
yeah.
told me at Com.
Yes,
It's a very cute story.
It's a very cute story. So you never know. If you get on reality TV and someone slides into your DMs, it might end up going well. As long as they don't be really creepy about it.
This is true. This is very valid. Very, very valid.
I mean, there's also a random guy who occasionally keeps sending me messages responding to my stories saying, like, he replied to my one today, and I think it went, like, hot AF, and then, like, a fire emoji and a winky face, and I'm like, I'm just going to ignore that.
That's nice. That's nice for you. It's complimentary.
Exactly. Take the compliment, but don't think too much about
exactly.
it. Just one quick response to chats. The first person called the Wilson87, who's a first-time chatter, who says, "Ooh, what a handsome man." I know for a fact that will be Chris, who was a chef at the hotel I used to work at. When anytime he sees me online, he has to refer to me as a handsome man. Unless you're talking about Henry, in which case, fair dues, he's an attractive young man.
Thanks, Chris. I'll take that. However, yeah, I think it might be a James thing.
And hello, my brother. I'm gonna say your name. He's called Josh. Carrot Beard Games. Wait, does that mean you stream?
Hey, Josh.
Judging by your name, I have a feeling that you're going to... Actually, no, yeah, I remember he said he was going to start streaming at some point, but I don't know if he did. That or I don't follow him.
How do you not know if he streams? Come on,
He's a brother that is very self-dependent, and we just catch up every now and again. But he is a beautifully bearded man, and when I went through a phase of growing my beard out, I literally would, like, take a picture of it and ask for his opinion every other day, and I'm like, how's it coming? And he sent me beard oils and palms and stuff, and he's like, I'll keep care of it. Like,
right.
So that's true brotherly support right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, off topic. So as it's the podcast, I'm going to do what we usually do, which is we're going to start off talking about any interesting news or geek stuff that's happened in the last 2 weeks or so. But before that, I want to do a quick announcement-like thing, because I've been asked to. Announcement ad-like thing, and that is for all our northwesterly friends back in the hometown of Blackpool. The Backlot Blackpool Cinema and Diner is opening on March 22nd, and that will be Blackpool's one and only IMAX cinema with the biggest and highest quality IMAX in the entirety of Lancashire, with a massive 10-metre high screen and 20 metres wide. Tickets are now on sale for movies such as Ghostbusters, Dune 2, Godzilla Kong, Kung Fu Panda, and many more. They will also be bringing back Barbie and Oppenheimer for an incredible IMAX experience. And they also have like a whole VIP exclusive membership thing that you can get into, which gives you a ticket to their pre-opening tour thing, and you will also get your own personalised chair in the IMAX cinema with your name on it, which will be forever reserved for you. And on top of that, you can also reserve and book actual cinema screens for your own movie nights, or if you really want to, because you can get access to the HDMI ports, you can bring your own games console and just have a games night in a cinema screen with your friends. Could you imagine the Super Smash Bros. Tournaments you could have on a screen like that? But yeah,
amazing.
they also have a diner full of tons of food and whatnot, but that is opening on March 22nd for anyone in the Blackpool area. If you want to check that out, it's literally right next to the Hounds Hill in the middle of Blackpool Town Centre. You're welcome, Backlot Blackpool. I'll be checking it out as soon as I come and visit. Anyway, brave. Henry, any interesting geek news you want to discuss?
Geek news. Well, I mean, the big one from last week is definitely the Oscars. We touched on this earlier. However, just wanted to bring it up. Was there any? I know you didn't watch it, but any awards that you kind of were clued up on, or that you wanted to see win and didn't win?
It's interesting that you think like the Oscars is like geek news, which makes sense because you had like your whole Geek Talk Oscars watch party, which was very cool. I saw all the costumes.
I'd say Spider-Verse was nominated.
True, but it didn't win.
This is true. Yeah, Boy and the Heron won.
But I'm guessing that's a Studio Ghibli movie, wasn't it? Yeah, I haven't seen it. But
if anything was gonna win over Spider-Verse, it would have been that. It wasn't gonna be Nimona or Elemental or
that's fair.
Robot Dreams. Like, yeah,
very fair.
No, any upsets for you?
I'm not surprised Oppenheimer won fucking everything. I haven't even seen the movie. Well, I'm not surprised. But I'm planning on watching the movie. I don't even know if there's anyone that was nominated for something that I watched that I liked. I'm glad Robert Downey Jr. won an award. He deserves it after so long.
Oh, yeah.
Dude's a great actor.
I think the Oppenheimer sweep was to be expected. Anatomy of a Fall, on best original screenplay, I think. Which, yeah, fine. I wanted Past Lives to win, but swings and roundabouts can't win them all. But no, Oscars was good. Yeah, lots to talk about online, I guess. Even though I feel this year was very very tame. There wasn't many upsets.
Yeah, I haven't
Everything
heard
kind
much
of
drama.
went how it was to be expected.
All I know,
which made it kind of boring.
Yeah, it's like all I know is that it was which Jimmy was it? Was it Fallon?
It was Kimmel.
Kimmel, yeah. The more I see of him online, the less I'm like him. Apparently, it was just bad jokes and
it's just dull. Like, it's just very generic. I think after the what was his name, Joe Coy, kind of ruined the Globes with his outlandish and
was that the last one?
Distasteful jokes. That was the one like a few months ago.
Yeah.
With the bald fella.
Yeah, I saw some of those, and it was just painful.
It was terrible. And then Kimmel just went very by the books, very safe, very tame.
I saw the bit that comedian actor who plays Spider Pig did. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, he was all right.
Yeah.
Like, I liked him. What was his name? John Mulaney.
That's the one, yes. He was an entertaining bit. If he hosted the whole thing, I might have been more interested.
Yeah. I fell asleep and missed the last half an hour.
I'll be honest.
But I did wake. Yeah, I woke up for the Best Picture one. But
there you go. That's the important bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't even realize it was the Oscars until I woke up the next day, and my TikTok was full of Ryan Gosling singing "I'm Just Ken," and I was like, "Oh shit, there's the Oscars."
That was amazing though.
That was very good.
Highlight and a brilliant Marilyn Monroe tribute as well. So yeah, no Oscars. What about you? Any news that is on your mind, Jim?
The thing that was actually on the top of my list has already been mentioned by Chris in the chat, and that is there was a trailer for the new Fallout series.
Indeed.
I don't know if that's something that you're interested in, be it the show or the game.
I am. I loved. I devoured Fallout 4 when I was about 15, 16. I don't know. But I played Fallout 4 to death. And I was in
university when Fallout 4 came out.
Wait, no, hang on. I can't have been. Fallout 4.
Oh, what was I?
You're not that much older.
I don't know.
Come on.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 22.
I'm 27. So I'm 5 years older than you. So it could have been that you were...
It could have, I think I might have been 16.
So yeah, that adds up.
Yeah, that does track.
But I played a lot of Fallout 4 as well.
All right, yeah. No,
was Fallout 4 your first Fallout?
Yeah, it was.
It was mine too.
It was. Yeah, I loved it.
How many people have suggested playing 3 or New Vegas to you?
About everyone. I'd say,
Same.
yeah.
Have you?
No.
Me neither.
I don't have. I don't know if it's on like next gen consoles. Like, I think I've only, and I don't have a PS3 or a Xbox 360 to play it on.
I downloaded Fallout 3 on my Xbox because it has like backwards compatible games. I just can't get into it. It's like I'm sure the story's great. Like Liam Neeson's in it, and that's cool. But then you get out of the actual shelter, and it just kind of loses the appeal to me because it just looks a bit shit in comparison.
Yeah, and I hear Fallout 76 isn't very good.
Chris says Fallout 76 is enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you might be in the minority there, Chris, because I hear very poor things about 76. So,
Yeah, I've heard it's improved, but it's still not amazing. Right. Apparently on release it was dreadful.
Again, it's like No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was absolutely terrible on release, but then apparently now it's amazing.
It is so much better.
Everything it promised, but like I'm not gonna go back and give it a go. Like I've got Helldivers to play.
You are like loving that game, aren't you?
Mate, I am obsessed. That's what I wrote down for news because I don't know if like you guys have spoken about it yet.
I think me and Stephen touched upon it, saying that neither of us have it, but Stephen's wanting to get it. He's currently waiting for another friend of his to get it as well.
Yeah,
but
it's brilliant. Like it's not one of these next gen games that are like £80, and then you have to buy like 100 quid's worth of add-ons as well. Like it's not. I think it's 40 quid for the base game.
Yeah.
And then all of the in-game currency, which you don't even need to buy because you can get it all so easily just in-game.
Nice.
All of it is like £3, or like I think the most you can spend is like £7.
That's the way you should do it.
There's been that exactly. And there's just been a big update. They've just added mechs. They've added new mission types. They've added a new battle pass. It's all brilliant, and I cannot recommend Helldivers 2 enough. It's amazing.
Gameplay-wise, every time I look at it, to me it looks like Destiny, like gameplay-wise. But is it third person or is it first person? Because I can never
third person,
which is more my vibe.
I do kind of get that. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's like Starship Troopers and like Terminator.
Oh, okay.
Kind of, I guess with the robots. I don't know. Yeah, really, really good game.
Guys,
I recommend it.
I do need to get around to it. I just don't have like gaming friends. That's another question. Do you need PlayStation Plus to play it online?
I don't know. Maybe.
Do you have PlayStation Plus?
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of these things which automatically like redoes it. It just does it like a monthly subscription.
Fair, so it might be because I'm getting really confused because there was a proper time in video games where if you wanted to play online, you had to have the gold subscription on PlayStation Plus. But now there's games like that are online games that you don't need it for, and I don't know where the line is anymore.
Yeah, I get you.
It's like Fortnite. You don't need a subscription to play Fortnite online. So it's like the same kind of thing. The fact that was the only game I could think of is quite embarrassing.
But yeah, speaking of online games, another game that came out the other day is Battlefront Remasters.
Oh, I've seen. I didn't even get that on mine. I should have jotted that down.
I've seen terrible things about that.
I've seen
terrible. Yeah, I was so excited for that. They've remastered the first original.
Thank you for the
follow. Battlefront. So yeah, thank you for the follow.
Unhallowed 89.
89. Wowie. And then yeah, apparently the servers don't work. You can't do anything.
I've heard they've had a lot of crashing.
Yeah.
But then I also read a thing saying everyone's saying it's a remaster, but apparently EA never said it was a remaster. It was just a re-release. So nothing was actually said to be improved. It's essentially just the exact same game. It's been brought back out, but the multiplayer has been updated, apparently. So I don't know what was actually promised, but I've read and seen both sides. All I know is I quite enjoy the newer Battlefront 2, so I am in no rush to go back.
I do too. I've platinumed the
newer
Battlefront 2. I played that game to death.
Blimey.
yeah, loved that game. But yeah, that's what I had noted down for news was Oscar's Helldivers and Battlefront.
All good choices. I'm guessing you're not going to be getting the original Battlefront re-release anytime soon.
Not anytime soon.
See, what I also love about
this
it
is occupying my life.
That's fair. What I also do love about it, though, is like, it's like the definitive edition of Battlefront and Battlefront 2. And it's like, you just want to go and you're like, listen, nobody actually gives a shit about the first one.
Yeah.
Just re-release the second one and make it a bit shinier, because nobody played the first one or nobody really cares about the first one. Also, thank you, Chris, for the subscription. I feel like I need to quickly just catch up with chat. Chris says that Fallout 76, the community, is what makes the game. He pre-ordered it and put it down after a week, but then he's picked it back up in last October, and he's now level 450, which is mental. Lamb's asking who's this pretender. Lamb, if you were here from the beginning, you would have heard me say that Stephen is away for his birthday. Henry is filling in, and he's not a pretender. He's a good friend. Show him some respect. You dick.
Thanks, Lamb.
He's a friend from Bible, so he's just trying to be sargy. Josh, I wasn't a fan of Helldivers 2. Don't like the gameplay at all. Ooh, starting.
It's unfortunate, Josh. Unfortunate.
I need to give it a go, because it looks like it could be enjoyable. Does it not get boring?
No, not in the slightest.
Fair.
I mean, maybe after 3 hours, but and any game gets boring after 3 hours.
Then you just go to sleep, wake up, and it's entertaining again.
Yeah, exactly. Never-ending cycle.
There you go. If you want to stay on the topic of multiplayer games, did you see the trailer for the unreleased Spider-Man multiplayer game?
Oh, I did. It's a crying shame that we're not getting that.
That looked like fun.
Crying shame.
Essentially just looks like Spider-Man 2, but multiplayer.
Yeah.
So I can't see why they cancelled it.
You couldn't just add it in.
Yeah, just make it DLC, which is a shame because I traded it in for something else. So I'd have to get it again.
I mean, they leaked the 3 DLCs for Spider-Man 2. The final one is a Spider-Verse related one.
Oh.
So I don't work for Insomniac or anything, but I imagine it would be pretty easy to tie in this multiplayer Spider-Verse thing in with that final DLC.
You would think so. Or release it like how Miles Morales was released as an extension of the first game. Just release a little £30 multiplayer version of Spider-Man 2 that takes place after.
People would buy it. It would sell so well.
It would sell so. It's like you don't even need to make it a live service game. Just make it multiplayer. Yeah, and just introduce all the different costumes, all the different versions. Maybe throw in later ones, but it's I don't think it would need that much maintenance or constant updates. You don't need a battle pass or anything. People just want to swing around New York with their friends and fight crime. Yeah. So that's an absolute shame. I actually surprised myself with the amount of news I have. Again, I don't know if you'll be interested in it. What's your opinion on fantasy-esque games? 'Cause I know you're a huge Lord of the Rings fan, but I don't know where you are when it comes to video games.
I haven't really played that, man. I mean, Skyrim I played. Outside of that, I have not played a fantasy game in years.
Well, at the end of this month, Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out, which is a game I'm very excited for. I don't know if you played. You probably didn't because you just said the fantasy games you played. But Dragon's Dogma came out a while ago now, and I think it was 360, but they remastered it. It's one I never finished it. So I don't know why I say this, but it's one of the best fantasy games I've ever played because. The character creation is great. The combat just feels fluid. It's a huge open world. It's very pretty. And they have a pawn system where you have your own pawn, like a chess pawn. Pawn. P-A-W-N. And you pretty much create them and they're your constant companion and you can recruit 2 others. So you've got a whole party the whole time. You can make them mages, rangers, warriors, and all that stuff. And Dragon's Dogma 2 is coming out, and they're clearly making the most of all the technology of today because of how much you can do in it. And if you have a moment, I would recommend checking out a trailer for Dragon's Dogma 2 because it just looks really fun. My only gripe is that I did not have fast travel. And map was huge, and the monsters respawn constantly. So you had to leave a town, go do a thing, kill everything on the way, and then on your way back, you'd have to kill it all again. So that was, it's the only reason I never finished it, because I spent so much time walking around killing things. But it's a really good game, and it looks really pretty, and Dragon's Dogma 2 just looks like it's even better.
Sounds very exciting.
Yes. James says Insomniac is his favourite developer, which is totally fair. because Ratchet and Clank was my childhood.
Yeah.
You ever play Ratchet and Clank?
I did. I really liked it when they not remade it. They did
They reinvented it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just I think called Ratchet and Clank.
Yes.
It was in 2016.
Something like that. It was when PlayStation was just really getting into exclusives.
It was one of the first PS4 games, I think.
It was really good.
I really liked that game. I thought that was really good fun.
Well, as Josh has just said, Locked and Loaded, which was the original second Ratchet and Clank. I do not know when it came out. It was on the PlayStation 2, but that game was my childhood.
Yeah.
I played the ever-loving shit out of that game.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank is just great. Lamb's asking if you watched... Did you watch the film, the Ratchet and Clank film?
Didn't realise there was a film.
Apparently there was a film, but from what I can gather, to me it just looked like all the cutscenes from the game. So I'm not sure.
No, I have heard of this. I think it is just a majority of the cutscenes from the game.
Yeah,
literally. I think that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't think I'll waste my time on that, to be honest.
That's fair. Thank you, Josh, for reminding me that Ratchet and Clank Locked and Loaded came out in 2003. A very long time ago. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, what's the thought on the upcoming animated film? There's an upcoming animated Lord of the Rings film?
War of the Rohirrim, I think it's called. I think it's an Amazon thing. I know very little about it, but given how Rings of Power went, not holding out a lot of hope, to be honest.
I didn't finish Rings of Power. I think I watched like 2 episodes.
I really struggled with it. Really struggled with it.
I don't think...
It wasn't great.
I don't feel like any of the characters look like how they should have looked. It's
just infuriated me.
That's fair. What annoyed me the most, to be honest, was I'm a big fan of the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games.
Yeah.
I love Celebrimbor in those games. And some of them are like, oh yeah, Celebrimbor's in this series. And then I saw him and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Because he is not Celebrimbor.
He's a right boring bastard, and Celebrimbor isn't boring.
He is weird.
I thought I'm completely with you. If you want more Lord of the Rings content, just play the Shadow games.
Exactly.
Don't bother with
those 2 games.
Rings of Power. It's just terrible.
Did you play the Golem game?
No, I didn't. Thank God. I saw the initial reviews and I was like, I am going nowhere near this.
Did you see that when after the initial reviews they sent like an apology letter out, and in that apology letter they misspelled the name of the game?
Oh my! Only put 1 L or something.
I can't remember what it was.
At least something.
No, I think they said after feedback of the game, the Lord of the Ring Golem. It's just not rings or something like that. There was some simple mistake. It's like, wow, you clearly are genuine when you can't like type out your own game's name.
Yeah.
It looks dreadful.
Time.
I have one more bit of relatively new news, which I'm interested in personally because I know my dad would be interested. I'm not sure about you, but Paramount have greenlit a new Star Trek series.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah, called Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Which
completely is this a completely new series, not tying into?
They believe that it might be in the same realm of Discovery.
Oh, right, okay.
Which, isn't their best work, but it's also not terrible. Chris, I will mention that in a second. I can't believe I didn't remember that. However, let me finish talking about Star Trek. I believe it's based in the Discovery world, and it's essentially another one of those shows regarding, coming to age stories within a group, which we do not have enough of in the world. And so it's that, but Star Trek. So that could be fun. I like Star Trek, so more Star Trek's always a good thing in my opinion.
Yeah.
But thank you, Chris, for reminding me. You probably won't. I don't know if you really know or care about this because you're not really an anime guy.
I've heard the news, but I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, rest in peace, Akira Toriyama, the legend that created Dragon Ball, which is a really good anime. I have a tattoo that is kind of Dragon Ball-ish. It's really good. I do. My dragon tattoo on my chest with the stars, it's the logo from a group called Team 4-Star, who made Dragon Ball Z Abridged, which is essentially just a funny, shortened down version of Dragon Ball Z. So it's kind of a Dragon Ball tattoo.
A bit connected.
Yeah, essentially. It's a 4-star Dragon Ball. Anyway, it's all related. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. I'm sure Dragon Ball will not end though. Have you seen the tributes around the world of people doing the Spirit Bomb? No, but I can believe that. That's cool.
I've seen it in a. There must be a Dragon Ball RPG.
Xenoverse. Yes, I have seen it. It's good. It's a good
where
game.
People are all doing the Spirit Bomb.
I have seen that now you mention it. Yes. Yeah. I saw that. That's cool.
That was very cool.
It's very cool when someone makes an impact like that. Oh my God, Chris, you're on it. Apparently, the Mexican cartels called a ceasefire apparently because they were big fans.
Oh.
God, I'm gonna have to just like message Chris before these and like,
Yeah.
Can you give me the lowdown of geek news, please?
Yeah.
That's actually crazy. See the power of Dragon Ball.
That's true. That's crazy. That is mental. Yeah.
Everyone loves Dragon Ball, unless you're Henry Calvert.
Hey.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, I just haven't watched any of it. I haven't watched any anime.
Another avenue. You're gonna get to that after Doctor Who, yeah?
After Doctor Who, I am nearly done Eccleston. Yes.
Oh, did you go back and actually start properly watching it?
Yeah, and I got really bored in one of the episodes and we stopped.
I have to try and guess what episode this was.
Go on, give it a go.
Really boring Christopher Eccleston episode. How early on was it? Because I think The Unquiet Dead is a shit episode. That's one with Charles Dickens.
That one. It was that one. It was that one. I was watching it. I was like, what's going on here?
That is my least favorite episode from season 1. I think it's like episode 3 as well.
It was so dull.
Yeah, it's not. It's not a good episode.
The episode before that was really good as well with the sun exploding thing.
That was the episode me and my girlfriend were cosplaying from at Comic-Con.
Oh, cool.
It was
I didn't
those
realise
outfits.
They were like different outfits. I thought it was just Rose and the Doctor wore the same thing.
Well, to be fair, the Doctor's outfit was, the Doctor's outfit, but the outfit she was wearing was the one from that episode, and I was wearing.
That is a good episode. I like the themes in that episode.
It is a good episode. That's why I picked it. But no, yeah. So I'm glad you're still somewhat trying with Doctor Who.
I am on a try. It does confuse me, but I'll get there.
It's one of those things you just pick up on.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Absolutely.
I forgot seeing Chris saying I'm mainly anime newsworthy, and that's fair because I remember all we used to talk about when I worked with him was anime. But no, I think that's all the news I've got anyway. Star Trek, Fallout, Dragon's Dogma, Spider-Man. That's all I had.
Yeah. I didn't make any other news notes. Clearly nothing newsworthy.
Nothing majorly big. I missed all the important stuff. Shall we move on to the main bulk of...
Yeah, let's get onto the main body of today's work.
Today's work. Just had someone say howdy from Louisiana, which is crazy.
Louisiana, that's amazing.
Hello. Welcome. I don't know what time it is there, but thanks for joining us. You're my first international viewer. I look at my statistics.
Amazing.
Yeah. New Fallout 4 London mod on the horizon. I've seen trailers for that Fallout 4 mod for fucking ever.
That would be cool. Would be very cool.
Louisiana Super Earth. Oh, and the following as well. Thank you very much. Anyway, what were we saying? Moving on to the main topic of discussion, which is Henry recommended, as it's, his episode. Sorry, in a typical Two Geeks podcast fashion, I need to quickly say something else before we move on. And that is, this was not my original idea for getting you on the podcast. My original idea was to have you on the podcast with Stephen, and we were going to have you as a guest, and we were going to have you talk about you and what you do, and then also we were going to do some other stuff that would have been fun with the three of us, which I hope we can still do in the future.
Absolutely.
Awesome stuff. So I'm glad you enjoy it, and then we can bring you back as an actual proper guest, and all three of us can have a conversation. But
100%.
For now, thank you very much for co-hosting with me and suggesting the topic of the day, which is there you go. You can now do your bit.
Oh, am I doing it?
Yeah.
Topic of the day is comic conventions.
Yeah.
A big part of your and my life, I guess. One of our favorite social events, I guess.
That's fair.
And more specifically, I get asked a lot. Oh, Henry, I want to start going to Comic-Con, but I don't know what to expect. So to give people a bit of an insight into Comic-Con, I thought it would be a good idea for us seasoned veterans of the event to give you guys a bit of a do's and don'ts of comic conventions.
Ooh.
So
That'd be a
we've
lovely
each
time
got
for a
5
jingle.
do's and 5 don'ts, and yeah, we thought we'd have a bit of a discussion about it, Comic Con as a whole, and what you guys could expect if you've never been.
True. Your do's and don'ts. Like mine vary from like kind of small, like just personal things you should do, and to like bigger things like while you're there.
Well, I've got big broad strokes. I've got very specific
Gotcha.
do this specific thing, but also big kind of mindset stuff as well.
Cool. I also think mine very much apply to both the big conventions and the little conventions, because I don't know if you've done many little conventions, but I quite enjoy a smaller convention.
I used to work a couple of them.
Oh, really?
I used to have like but when I was like a kid, I used to go with this with my friend who used to have a stall, and you know, in like Teesside or Middlesbrough or York, like tiny little ones.
Yeah.
So I understand, like I know the atmosphere, the events, the people, like it's kind of surreal going. I never went to big ones when I was young. I'd only ever do these little local ones where I was working. Then going to the XL or the Olympia was, you know,
real big ones.
Mind blowing stuff.
It is a whole of a kettle of fish.
Yeah, it's massive. It's massive. So yeah, no, I guess some of these could definitely count to both.
Cool, because my recommendation when anyone says, "Oh, I want to go to a Comic Con," I'm not sure. I always say, go to a small one first, just so you can see what it's like. Because the big one is essentially it's the same thing, just a lot bigger. And what a Comic Con essentially is, if you're not going to visit to see your friends and to hang out, you're basically just going to a huge room full of stalls, and maybe the odd C-list celebrity.
Yeah.
But yeah, for people who do not have the friendship groups or people to go with them, you're essentially just going to a room full of desks that sell geeky stuff, which is cool in its own right. So I always recommend going to a small one so you're not paying a lot for like hotels or tickets and whatnot, just so you can see if it's the kind of vibe you enjoy, before then recommending MCMs or Megacons or Film and Comic Con. Yeah, one like that.
Yeah.
That's cool. So do you want to start with a do?
Sure. I would say do, and this is a pretty big one, because I get a lot of questions which are like, oh, you know, I'd love to go, but I don't have anybody to go with. So my first do is go alone, right? Don't be scared of going alone. Okay. If you can go with a group, then of course go with a group. But if you don't have a group to go with, don't be afraid of going on your own. I think there's still a lot of fun to be had by going on your own. And also it allows you to kind of more freely make friends when you're there. Because I think the special thing about Comic-Con is that everybody there will have at least one similar interest to you.
True.
And when you're on your own, it kind of forces you to go and meet people and make friends. Like when I went to MCM for the first time, I didn't really have a following on TikTok. I went like alone, and I met a couple of people while I was there, and it was brilliant.
Yeah.
So whenever anybody asks me if they should do, you know, I don't have any friends, should I go alone? I always say yes. Do it. See if you enjoy it, and because I'm sure that you will.
Yeah, it's like most of my Comic Cons I've been to, usually I went by myself. And then it's only really the first one that you're going to truly by yourself, because then after that, because you get to know people, you go by yourself, but you meet up with people there, which was one of my do's, which is meet up with people, meet up with others, hang out with other people. Yes. Because as great as it is going by yourself, if you go by yourself and then stay by yourself for the entire time, it might be a bit depressing in the end, because there's just so many bodies. But if you're not talking to anyone, you just feel like... So a continuation of that do is meet up with people, interact with other people, and just find like-minded, friendly people. Which
I mean, that kind of links to my next do, which was do check for Facebook groups.
That is smart.
Which is a tactile do this thing, because I guarantee whatever Comic Con that you go to, there will be a Facebook event page or a Facebook group or something along those lines.
Yeah.
and whether that be a Facebook group for the specific con, or if you're going as like a going in cosplay, they'll organize like meets for that specific like faction. I guess.
Very true. I was gonna say something. It's like, yeah, if you're going and you're planning on cosplaying from a certain group like Marvel or Doctor Who or Star Wars, always check on Facebook to see if they have a Star Wars meet or a Doctor Who meet, because they usually always will. Yeah. And that is a great way to meet like-minded people.
Exactly.
And get some awesome pictures.
Yeah. A good way to meet people. Exactly. Yeah, definitely check for Facebook groups. I think they're invaluable when it comes to trying to meet people and that kind of thing.
They're also really good for just like getting to know information, because there's usually so many people in them. And then if you have a question, odds are someone else has had the same question. And it's a very easy way to find out useful things.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a do, which is kind of comes from those last two. And my do is talk to people. It's like, while you're there, don't be scared to approach people and talk to people. It's like, honestly, Comic-Cons are probably one of the places where the most nicest people ever are. You do get some dodgy people, but for the most part, literally everyone I've ever spoken to at Comic-Con is so nice and so loving, and you can easily get stuck in a conversation with them. So don't be scared to talk to people. If someone's in a costume that you really like, or if someone is doing something and you're like, oh my God, I love that, don't be scared to tell them or just say hi. Just, talk to people.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree completely. I guess leaning on to the social kind of thing, I would say when you're in these Facebook groups, do also check for after parties. This is kind of more for the bigger conventions. However, these after parties will sell out quite fast, and when you're there on the day, people will be talking about, oh, I'm going to the Fox afterwards. Are you coming? And then you'll rock up to the Fox and they'll be sold out. So like you need to be with the afters, and these Facebook groups are probably the best place.
That's something I actually need to learn as well. It's only fairly recently that I've started hanging out with people after the convention, because probably since around the show and beforehand, I was quite a hermit at Comic-Cons. I talked to the occasional person in the Comic-Con, then once the Comic-Con was done, I'd literally just go sit in my hotel room and not know what to do with myself. Whereas like the last year and a bit, it's like, right, I now know people, what's everyone doing? Oh, they're going to this hotel, they're going there. I'm like, cool, I'm going to go there too. Luckily, I've yet to fall into the situation of this place is sold out, you can't get in. Probably because I don't go to like the big proper after parties. But it's a very good point.
Yeah, afters are always good fun.
So I'm going to
checking for after parties.
I'm going to assume this LX Epics is a friend of yours, Henry, or a follower of yours.
This is a friend of mine. Use the term friend very loosely indeed, Epics, because he does not like Pitch Perfect. But I take great offence at that. Great offence in that. Epics, just know I've got a video going out tomorrow of you and me, and you will either love it or you will think that it will ruin your entire reputation online.
Wow.
I've got 2 words. Anne and Muppet. Okay? It's going out tomorrow. Alright, Epic, so watch your back. Okay.
Blimey. Okay. Is this a bad time to say I've only seen the second one?
Yes.
Sorry. I enjoyed it though.
Yes. The second one is probably my most guilty pleasure movie. I am under no illusion that the second Pitch Perfect film is pretty crap. However, I don't care. When that film ends, I am a weeping, blobbing mess. Okay.
Wow.
I love that film.
To be fair, I have the Jessie J version of that last song in my personal playlist. Yeah.
Get me through the night.
And I will
the second movie is the best of the 3. Epics, are you on something, mate? Are you actually on something?
I agree with them because it's the only one I've seen.
The third one's terrible. The second one is the best of the 3. Oh, I thought you said worst of the 3.
Oh.
Yeah, second. No, it's not. The first one's the best. Then it's 2, and then it's 3. 3 is terrible. I
shan't watch 3 then. I'll also admit that I occasionally like listening to The Sound Machine and their versions.
Yeah, The Sound Machine. Yeah, that's good.
They're really good. The third movie is Dogs, says Will. Wilson, says Chris.
I agree.
Fair. Of course you.
Because I did post that video of you missing the ball. However, I will be posting the video of you and me singing Man or a Muppet tomorrow as well. So you best get on that.
I feel like you're a scary friend to hang out with on a regular, because you're like, oh, is he filming? What's he filming? What's he going to post? Can't do
Listen,
karaoke with Henry because it'll end up on
Can't do
TikTok.
karaoke. Yeah, you never know what will end up online. That's very cool. But Bengal Bandit, that is a very cool tidbit. Your sister was in Pitch Perfect. That's very cool.
That is cool. Oh, you also said something earlier that I totally missed, which I'm going to look at now. I went to Star Wars Celebration Orlando alone 10 years ago. I met a few guys there who we still keep in touch to this day and meet up at subsequent celebrations when we all go. Lifetime friendships, even though I live in Louisiana. One is in California and one is in Canada. Pretty cool. That is cool. That's what I mean.
Amazing.
You meet some phenomenal people at Comic-Cons.
Absolutely. Completely agree. Do you want to do another then, James? Or
Sure. This is a really easy one, and Josh even said this word for word earlier, and that is shower beforehand and wear deodorant.
I've literally got down on mine to take toiletries.
I mean, there's a lot of bodies in...
Yeah.
I want to say a big space, but, with that many bodies, it's quite tight, and you get a lot of people in costumes that are heavy or lots of layers, and so you do sweat, but... There is nothing worse than being in a line for something or stood at a store looking at something and you just get this huge waft of BO.
Yeah.
So, just take deodorant. And shower in the morning, take deodorant with you, shower in the evening, and if you come back the next day, it's just have some,
Completely agree.
care in your hygiene.
Yeah. Then I say as well at these things, take your own food and drinks.
I have that too!
Yes, yeah, it's expensive there. You'll get dehydrated. Make sure you take lots of snacks and bottles of water.
Yep.
If there's no rules against you taking your own stuff, so just take it.
Yeah, and if you're a cosplayer, take someone with you who's not cosplaying because they can be bag bitch and they will carry water and food and anything you buy. And then also a good tidbit for you, if you go into like the Excel Center, remember, once you're in, you can go out and back in again, so you do not have to buy food from the Excel Center, food and drinks. If you don't take food and drinks and you only take money, you do not have to buy from inside. There is a corner shop literally down the road. It's like 2 minutes away. Actually got some really good prices on just like, bottles of drink and snacks. Go there because it's never that busy. So, just remember you don't have to buy the £6 burger that's the size of, your thumb.
Yeah. I completely agree.
I want to see if... Okay, I have another do here, Dan. There's a good chance you might have it as well. I think this largely comes from the cosplay perspective, and that is be respectful of other people.
Yeah, that's kind of in my don'ts.
I think I also have that in my don'ts.
Yeah.
It's just like, you're not the only person there, essentially. A lot of people there. It's everyone's there to have a good time, so just remember that. Give people space. Don't barge into people. I've gone into don'ts, haven't I?
Yeah. To be fair, I'm done on do's. All of my 5 have been done. So.
That was my last do as well. It was just do be respectful of other people. We can go into the don'ts now if you want.
I could do my first don't is don't take photos of people without asking.
That is my first one too. Don't take pictures without asking.
Whether it's cosplay or someone that you follow or whatever, like people would always rather speak to someone before you ask for a photo. Like I don't know about you, but like when people will come up and just be like, "Oh, selfie," it's like, oh, bloody hell, like who are you? Whereas if it's like, "Oh, hey, like I love your outfit. Where'd you get it?" Like it's a good conversation.
Oh yeah.
As well. If you see a really cool cosplay, that cosplayer will more than likely want to talk about the cosplay and
can confirm.
The outfit. Like I guarantee, if you went up to James and was like, "Oh, I love I love Breath of the Wild, like great outfit," because James has done Link before, like you would be like, "Oh yeah, no, it's a great game. Where have you played it?" Like again, another opportunity to meet people and talk to people.
True.
So,
you'll also find that 9 out of 10 times, if you ask someone for a picture, they'll say yes. So it's not like you have to sneak one in, because they might say no. They'll probably say yes. I don't think I've met a single pardon me, by the way. I don't think I've met a single cosplayer who's ever gone, "Oh no, I didn't want my picture taken, so I just said no to everybody."
Yeah,
it's like part of the thing
pretty
is
certain people go to a con in cosplay expecting to, have photos taken of them by whoever. Like, people don't mind, so don't be afraid to ask.
For a lowly cosplayer like me who's not huge on social media, it's like my one day where I can feel like a small celebrity because I'm no longer me and I'm like this character. And so when people really like costume, it's like, oh my god, I love it. It just gives you an adrenaline rush. So just know, if you ask a cosplayer, oh, can I get a picture? Or, oh, I really like the costume, can I get a picture? Just know that's making them happy as well. Because they're like, oh my god, they like it, they want a picture, it's so great. So yeah, ask for pictures.
100%.
I don't know if I have this as a separate don't or the same don't, which is if you do no, I don't. So this is a continuation of the don't take pictures without asking. Just pay attention to what they're doing when you want a picture. Like, if a cosplayer is sat down eating food with half the cosplay off, that's when they'll probably say no.
Yeah.
Don't go up to someone when, like, their gloves are off, their masks off, they've got a Subway in their hands, they're a bit busy. Same with, like, people like you as well, I can imagine.
I've had, Star Wars Celebration. I was hanging out, it was me, a creator called A-Said Joe, and a creator called Slayers. We're having lunch together, and these kids come up, and you can see them recognize each of us individually. It's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh. I've got half a chicken hanging out my mouth at this point. Like, I have not eaten for like 6 hours. Like, I am enjoying my lunch. And these kids are like, oh, can we get a photo? And I'm like, I'm eating, Leia's eating, Joe's like doing some admin or whatever. And it's the only time, like, maybe the only time I've ever said no to a photo. Like, no, actually, that's a lie. I said no when I was with my grandma. But, like, I was like, look, I'm eating my lunch. Can you give me, like, 5 minutes? And then these people stood, like, 10 meters away from our table. Like, just waited. And as soon as I stood up to put, like, our stuff in the bin, they came over. So then we post this photo, and the person taking the photo says to me, oh, you've got, like, food on your mouth. And I literally went, yeah, it's because I've just finished my lunch. Like, just give me... I haven't even had time to wipe my mouth here. Like, just be respectful of people's space, and just imagine how you'd feel in that situation.
Exactly. And as big as Henry is on the TikTok and the world, he is still a human being. He is still there as an individual living his life. You need to take breaks.
Like, I mean... They're not... Some guy dressed as Superman isn't going to actually be as nice as Superman, okay? Like, they do have human feelings. Like, don't feel them up. And anyway.
Oh, that goes on to another don't. I have a don't.
Yeah.
This don't is don't touch anyone's cosplays or props. Not even without asking. Just don't do it. Especially props.
Yeah. Unless they offer you, like...
That is true.
You know, I've seen cosplayers offer, like, kids there.
I've done that, like the props. Yeah. It's like you have a sword or something.
Or a Mjolnir or you know, something like that. Unless they're offering it, you don't. Also, if they've got stuff on their back, like a Deadpool sword.
Yeah. Don't pull it out.
Yeah, don't pull it out, and don't put your arm around them. Or like, it just stand there nicely and take your photo. Maybe even pose on your own. Like, you know, okay.
Yeah, it's like you can like touch them in a picture if you ask first. If you're like, oh, you're okay if I like, you know, just like put my arm around you, and then you go, yeah, cool, yeah, whatever. But the prop things, you see so many cosplayers with like huge props, like 6 foot tall props that they've clearly made themselves, and they're really impressive. But from a cosplayer perspective, some of these things that you can make look really good are so fragile. Yeah. It's like you have to be so delicate with them, and then someone who doesn't know what it's made out of, how heavy it is, how light it is, they can easily come around and just go, oh, this is really cool, touch it, and then put their finger through it or something. And there is nothing more soul destroying than having your prop like break in half at a convention. So don't touch props. What's this? Unfortunately, many people at conventions have very awkward or zero social skills. Saying how they feel, well, it may not be normal way of feeling, I'm afraid. That is a very fair point. I'm a first desert trooper, and the amount of times I've been grabbed, etc., is wild. I can't see a damn thing out of that helmet. Also fair. Yeah. I don't know if that sound thing has worked that Josh has tried to use. I forgot those things were real. I thought I deactivated them, so I didn't hear it. I apologize. Well, back when I was like streaming as a gamer, I introduced like these twig beans thing. Yeah, and you could like redeem sound alerts, but I deactivated it, so nothing came through. Sorry. Actually, no, I didn't. I just haven't linked it to this, so don't waste your beans, even though they're free.
Save the beans.
Save the beans. But it's a fair point with the awkward or zero social skills, and it's the how would you feel. But it's not okay. It's just a case of like just trying to be respectful of others. It's not even a social thing. It's just.
Gal Bandit is back spreading democracy for Super Earth, and I completely respect that, Bandit. After this, you best believe I will be spreading democracy in the name of Super Earth as well.
I need to learn more about this game.
You really do. You really do.
What were we saying? Don't touch cosplay / props. Yeah, I said that.
And people. Don't touch people.
Yeah, that's just fair in general. Just don't touch people.
You hear some horror stories, and it's like, just get off me.
I think you've been through your fair share of people just like hugging or like grabbing you.
Yeah, a fair few. We spoke about anyway.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a hug, but I'd prefer if you asked ahead of time.
Prefer if it's someone that I knew.
Well, the thing is, that's totally fair, and I can understand that. But I'm not even that. I once went to a convention dressed as Castiel from Supernatural.
All right.
It's a very, very easy, very simple costume. And the amount of like middle-aged women that was like, "Oh my god, Castiel, I love it. Can I give you a hug?" And I'm like, "Sure." I love a good hug. It's just as long as you ask ahead of time. I usually don't mind.
Is, maybe I'm just a very jaded Yorkshireman and I don't get it. But like, nothing on this world could possess me to go up to someone at a con who's in a costume, some girl who's dressed as like Tinkerbell or something, and go, "Oh my god, you're Tinkerbell!" Like, come on, like, if I went and did that to a girl, right? I'd be a predator. Like, I'd be a bit weird.
That is a fair point.
People would think it'd be a bit weird. However, these middle-aged women who are like, "Oh my god, Spidey, can I get a hug?" Like, I'm like, this is a bit weird. Like, what's your angle here, love? Like, I don't think I appreciate this.
See, I get your point. It's like, because I don't go to people going, "Oh my god, can I hug?" I barely even ask people for pictures. I get so awkward asking other people for pictures. I feel just weird. It's like, ask me for pictures. I'm good at saying yes. I'm terrible at asking, so I just don't. But it's like, I'll never go up to someone going, "Oh my god, can I have a hug?" Because I feel that's weird personally. But if someone wants to come up to me and go, "Can I have a hug?" I'm like, "I'll hug anyone. Sure, I'll give you a hug." It's a very weird. I don't understand
in the
myself.
Moment, I'm not going to be like, get off, mate. But like afterwards, I'll be like, that was a bit strange.
That was a bit strange. This also semi leads on to another don't that I imagine you have. Unless you want to do a don't. I feel like I've done most of the don'ts.
No, hit me.
Don't be a creep.
Yeah.
So just don't be a creep. It's like the last convention I went to, I was hanging out with, I don't know if I'd call her a friend. I met her on the weekend. We spoke a bit. We now follow each other on Instagram. But an acquaintance, yeah. I was hanging out with her, and essentially she kept turning around, and I was like, "Oh, what's on?" Yeah, that's the one. Oh, I have to allow this message that from Bengal, which said, "Don't be a perv," which is, I'll allow it. It didn't like the word perv. But it's essentially the same as creep. But no, I was walking around with this friend, and she was constantly looking over her shoulder, and I was like, "What's up?" She's like, "Oh, there's this guy that's just been like following me around for like the last 2 hours. Like every now and then I just turn around and he's there following me." I'm like, "Don't be that guy. If you're someone online that you follow and you've spotted them and you like them or whatever, be polite, ask for a picture, leave. Don't
go away.
Yeah, don't stalk them. It's just there's so many horror stories.
Yes. You don't need to be worrying about that when you're at a convention with your pals.
Yeah, you're there to have fun.
Completely agree with that. On a more kind of practical note, I was going to say, don't carry your merch around with you all day. Buy a lot of stuff, you're going to buy a lot of Funkos, and more often than not, if you ask the person behind the stall, "Would you mind holding on to this for me and I'll collect it at the end of the day?" they'll say yes. So on a practical standpoint, don't carry your stuff around with you.
That's true. Or if you're at a hotel nearby, just every now and then when you've got a certain number of things, take it back to your hotel room, drop it off,
or put
come
it
back
in the cloakroom, whatever.
True.
Don't bother lugging it around with you. The day is tiring enough as it is. You don't need to be carrying your stuff.
That is fair. I had a friend, friend and acquaintance. I don't know what you can call them. So it's the people that you always talk to at conventions, but you never see outside of conventions.
I know exactly what you mean.
But it was at MegaCon Birmingham, so we're at the NEC in Birmingham. And on the first day, I think he was Joel from The Last of Us. So he had a beard and short hair, and he went and bought a thing, and he asked the person, can you leave it back there and I'll pick it up tomorrow? And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And then the next day, he was cosplaying Eddie from Stranger Things. I hope to God that was his name. I may have forgotten. I think it's Eddie, the guy with the afro, right? Right? Yeah. So he shaved his beard off and he had this afro wig on. And then he went up to collect it and he had to like convince this man that he was the same person that bought it because he looked totally different. So just be careful.
Yeah. But give them a name.
Exactly.
Or something.
Oh, funny story. Sorry, it's very fun. MegaCon that you were at last time, in January, there was a stall selling ale. Yeah. I think, yeah. And they had, was it ale? Was it moonshine? I have no idea. Bottles of.
I saw you like pretty soon after you were there. I remember
probably.
you saying that you'd been at that stall.
Yeah, but they had like 5 different flavors. And they let you do tasters, and if you wanted, you could taste all 5, and they'll talk to you through it. And then when I was like, "Oh yeah, may I try some?" And he went, "Do you have any ID on you? Because everyone's in costume. It's difficult to tell who's old, who's young." And I'm like, "That is fair. No, I don't, because I am dressed like a Link from Legend of Zelda. I didn't think I'd need my ID for anything." And he asked for my ID, and I was like, "Oh bugger!" Not to mention I was clean shaven, so I didn't have my beard.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh bugger!" And I was like, "How do I prove this?" And he went, "Is your wig glued on?" And I was like, "No, I can show you my receding hairline if that helps." God. So I pulled my wig up to this like bold receding hairline. And he went, "Yep, that'll do." So then proceeded to have like 5 shots of the sale. It was quite nice.
That's good on you. Good on you.
It's the first time my boldness has helped me get anywhere.
Been clutch there.
Oh, that was dumb, but it was funny.
Good.
I think I have a practical don't. Oh no, it's not a practical don't. This is a pet peeve of mine. It's not even like it's just a certain type of person. Don't be this person. Don't buy to resell.
That's a good shout.
It's mostly with celebrities, because the amount of people because I haven't done it numerous times. I've met a few celebrities, mainly voice actors. Yeah. And I'll be in a line to meet this person. I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited." And then I'll hear the person behind me talking. And I'm like, "Oh, and I'll turn around like, "Oh, do you know him?" And they're like, "Oh, no, I just hope that, people like his signature." And I'm like, "Oh, for fuck's sake." There's nothing more boring. The amount of people that go to a convention because there's a celebrity they really want to meet. And then there's only a limited amount of tickets for autographs or whatever. And they sell out super quick. And they're selling out to people that don't even know who these people are. They just want a signature so they can put it on eBay for like 3 times the cost, and it's just disgusting. And so don't buy to resell.
It's sad as well because again, people, in these queues, you'll be stood for an hour or so. It's a good chance to make friends and like-minded people. So when you get stuck with someone like that, it's not a great feeling.
No, yeah, I remember because it was one of my first big conventions. It was a Comic-Con in Liverpool. And I was about to see a voice actor from an anime that I really liked. I won't say his name because he's been through some controversy. I don't know how it ended. But at the time, I was a really big fan of his work. And I was very excited to meet him and get this autograph because I just had a picture of him. And so I was like buzzing because it was my first celebrity that I'd ever paid to like have some fun. So I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited, so excited." And then just like 2 blokes behind me that I just like, "Oh yeah, I've never even heard of the guy." I'm like, it's just... I did meet a really cool Deadpool cosplayer, though, when I was waiting for a picture with Nolan North and Troy Baker in London, so that was cool.
That's cool. That's really cool.
But yeah,
jealous of that. Nolan North and Troy Baker, that's a brilliant...
Oh, you've mentioned it now. I have to get the picture.
Go on, go on.
I had to, like, not wear cosplay for the first half of the day so I can get this picture. Da-da-da-da-da!
Hang on,
and signed by both of them as well.
That's very cool.
Suddenly remembering that Troy Baker's really tall and I was cutting his head off.
That is awesome.
I look how they both personalize it. But that being said, this was during... I don't know if you follow them at all. Because they went through a phase of... They made a YouTube channel together called Retro Replay.
Did they?
They did, yeah. And they'd play old games together. They went through a Uncharted playthrough together and a Last of Us playthrough together.
Amazing.
And so
that's very cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna check that out. What was it called? Retro
Replay, but it's been renamed. It's a different thing now. I'm not sure they're both still in it, but if you type Retro Replay, you should get all the old videos they did.
Yeah, sounds really cool.
And they both signed it with catchphrases from the show. So Nolan signed it "What's Going Happen" because that's how he started every episode. He's like, "What's going happen, everyone?" Because he flubbed it one time, so it became a catchphrase. And then Troy signed it "What do we play next?" because that's how we ended every episode. Troy Baker and Nolan North. Hey, I like that one. I am more proud of this picture than I am of the picture I have with David Tennant, who is like my favorite actor in the world. But that picture was taken the day before we started filming Beauty and the Geek, so I look like shit.
Really?
Yeah, I was in Telford the day before I came down to London.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't even have that picture. It's at my parents' house.
But yeah, no. I met. What did I do? I did Walker Stalker Con. I did Walker Stalker Con maybe. I don't know, 5.
My parents are big Walker Stalker fans.
I did it years ago, and I met Shone.
Nice.
Met Denai Guerrera, Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
that's cool.
Father Gabriel, Ezekiel.
Hey!
I met all of these people. I paid so much money to meet all these people. And then it was a real nice full circle moment because I got to do an event for The Walking Dead last year. I got to meet all these people for nothing. And I was like, this is brilliant. This is absolutely mint.
I'm not jealous.
Yeah. You got to flex Troy and Nolan. I gotta get.
Do you know how much I paid for a picture with both of them, and then for both of them to sign it?
I dread to think.
It was quite a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh is asking if he was there. Was that the Troy Nolan one? Because that was London, I think, when I met Troy and Nolan. Or was it Birmingham? Fuck, I can't remember anymore. I know he met me at a Birmingham convention, but I can't remember who was there. And he did also come to a Liverpool one. I don't know, Josh. I can't tell you. Maybe. Sorry. Also, Bengal's asking, are either of you close to Essex? I'm technically close to Essex, right? I'm closer than Henry is, unless he's doing his daily trip to London, in which case he'll be closer.
I'm down in London maybe like every 2 days at this point. I'm in London all the time, and it's really, really doing me in.
Really? I thought you would have loved the London life.
So tiring. I did. For the first year, I lapped it up. Then last year, I was like, okay, this is really good, but it's starting to cost me a lot of money. Now, I'm like, I need my own bed. I need a good night's sleep and some home cooking. You can't be spending like 20 odd quid on a sandwich. Like in London, everything's so expensive, and I just down there too often now. It feels like work.
That's fair.
I mean,
I've moved closer to London, and I still don't get to go that often, but I want to go. I want to start popping into London every now and then.
It's good to do like a little few day trip. But anyway, what were we talking about?
I don't know, but Bengals just said they've recently invested in a pub in Essex, so I was curious and would send us there to get a free beer.
Amazing.
I'm going to remember that if I'm ever in Essex. We can say hi to Saskia. She lives in Essex, right?
I don't think she'd be pleased to see me, but yeah, okay. No. What was I going to say? What were we talking about? Conventions. That was the one. Don'ts. We're on don'ts.
We were on don'ts, and I've just read a message from Josh. I think you're right, Josh. That was Liverpool.
We're on don'ts. I said, don't spend all your money on Funkos.
Just don't buy Funkos in general. They're so shit.
They occupy conventions. You go to a Comic-Con, 80% of the stalls will be Funko-related stalls. So if we stop buying Funkos, maybe they'll go away, and we can get some actual comic stalls at a comic convention.
Preach. Because
I want comic books at a Comic-Con, and I don't think that's too much to ask.
I think my favorite stores are like the retro toy ones when you get like the old school toys. Yeah. Because like some of the toys I had when growing up were so cool, and you see some of them at conventions, and it just like reignites something. You're like, oh my god, I really miss when I had this. This would be cool.
Whenever you see a unique stall, something that is not selling Funkos, it is honestly like a breath of fresh air. It's always either Funkos or like indie art stuff.
True.
I don't like Funkos, and I'm not huge on art. I like comic book art, but not like indie art. Not really my thing.
That's fair. It's like I just don't understand the love for Funko. I have a couple of Funkos, but I do not own a single Funko that I myself have bought. All the Funkos I own have been bought for me. I just hate them as I feel like the faces have the only Funkos I kind of like are the ones in helmets. because I hate their faces. I hate the blank face with the black eyes. Just give them a helmet, and it's
Remember,
somewhat
my first
alright.
girlfriend, when she first came over, I had to turn all of them around because they scared her.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, weird relationship with Funkos ever since.
I just don't like. I feel like they're overrated. But yeah, you go to a Comic Con, it's like every second stall is just floor to top of stall Funkos. It's like, and you see some people on Instagram and they literally have like a whole wall of Funkos. I'm like, how much money have you spent on this?
My pal Layla was like that, and then she sold like her entire collection because she's moving, and I'm like, well, that will take you forever.
True.
Because you own 1,000 or something mental.
That's crazy. So yeah, don't buy Funkos.
What's your final, or have you got a couple more don'ts?
Don't take pictures. Don't be a creep. Don't buy it for resale. Don't touch it. I have one more don't. What my last don't. This is when talking to cosplayers. One, and that is do not compare cosplayers to other cosplayers.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There is nothing. There's probably a lot more worse, to be honest. But it's the. I'm trying to think of it as an outside looking in perspective, but from the inside, cosplay is such. It's meant to be. If you're in the cosplay community currently, there's a lot of drama going on. But the cosplay in general is meant to be very accepting and very open, and it's all about, the love of characters and just sharing love for the fiction in expressing that in dressing up as the characters. And it's meant to be love. There is no they're better than me, I'm not as good. There is just, sorry, I just knocked my mic. There's just as much value in a cosplay that someone bought for 50 quid to a cosplay that someone made themselves over like 3 months. Like, granted, the effort they put into it is really cool, very impressive, and they should be applauded for it. But at the end of the day, wearing the costume, they are equally as worthy as, the demonstration of love towards the character. And when you're cosplaying a character and someone comes up to you and goes, oh my god, can I have a picture? I love your costume. You're like, oh yeah, sure, no worries. You take the picture, and then they turn around and say, oh yeah, you're the best one here. It's like all the other ones are a bit shit, aren't they? And you're like, why did you gotta do that? Why'd you gotta shit on other people?
Yeah.
Because it's like, it doesn't improve your day. It doesn't make me feel any better. It makes me feel like a dick now. It's like, so just don't compare. Like, if you're gonna do it, keep it in your head. Don't tell the cosplayer. Don't compare. Not my favourite two people having a natter on Twitch. I wish I knew who this was that said this.
Emeg19. Emieg?
Emieg19.
Emieg19.
I'm guessing they're a fan of the show, because that's the only way they usually know the both of us. Amelia's popped up for her one little dig at me. Shame you're not going to MegaCon. Twiggy, no cosplay. Tag with you and Teddy. Oh yeah, we do. We used to play cosplay tag. That was fun.
What's cosplay tag?
It's essentially just tag, but your friends are in cosplay and you don't often hang out. And so whenever you see them, you just have to sneak up on them and just go tag, and then just leg it. It's really fun when you don't know what they're dressed as.
Oh, okay.
It's a fun laugh. I don't think that's legal. I mean, have a chat. I knew what you meant saying having a chat. I'm just still trying to figure out who you are.
Emieg. Interesting.
Right, let's go on Instagram.
Yeah, no, I'm all done on do's and don'ts.
Me too. I feel
exhausted that. I think to a final Comic-Con wrap-up thing could be, what's your favorite convention memory, James?
Shit. I have so many. There's so many like good stories. I feel like now that we're done with the do's and don'ts, I'll be able to come up with more Comic-Con stories. But my brain's just been, don't do this, do that. Really good Comic-Con story. Oh, this is a fun story. Sorry, that was really loud. This was at the Telford Takeover Wales Comic-Con in Telford, which is not in Wales. I was dressed in my Daredevil cosplay, which I'm really proud of. It's probably my best costume that I own. And I was with my parents, of all people. and we were loitering around the celebrity bit because my dad likes to, stand around and see who he can see and spot, and then, do the dickhead thing of standing there and take a picture from 15 feet away, which we've just said don't take pictures of people without asking. But my dad doesn't want to pay 50, 60 quid for these pictures. Plus, they look like crap anyway. But while we were there, this really tall guy walked past. He had like white hair and a white beard. And he saw me, he was like, "Oh my God, I love your costume. Can I get a picture?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I noticed he was wearing a lanyard that had like guest on it or something. Like, so he wasn't a punter, what do you want to say? He didn't pay to get in, but he wasn't a celebrity. But I think he was like someone there with the celebrities. I don't know if it's like an agent or something. Right. And he asked for a picture. I said, "Yeah, sure." So my mum took the picture, and he got his phone back and he went, "Oh my God, that's amazing. I'll have to show that to Charlie. I'll have to send that to Charlie." Cool. And I went, "Oh, cool." And then he walked away and I went, "Wait a second." So I have a feeling that Charlie Cox was sent a picture of me dressed as Daredevil. And so
that's very cool.
That is very cool.
That's a very cool convention story.
So I think that will be up there. I have a couple more, but that's the highest. How about yourself, sir?
Oh God. I don't know. They all blend into one. After
they really
a while,
do.
Especially when all the ones I've been to have been at the XL. So Star Wars. Actually, no. What a load of rubbish. If we're talking like, D23 was amazing. Star Wars Celebration in Orlando was amazing.
Oh, of course they're going to be great.
If I want to be a real wanker about it, I can talk about them. But if we're talking UK-based like conventions, I would say, again, Celebration UK was really special. Or I think when I would say when all of the geeks from the show at October MCM 2022. However, not all the geeks did reunite, did they?
Yeah, I really wanted to.
You weren't there.
I lived in Blackpool at the time. Getting there was, I was so good. I think that's the only time the majority of us have been in one place since.
Well, yeah, because it's not, and it won't happen again.
Oh no,
because it's just all too dispersed. Like it just won't happen. So I don't know. That was nice because the show was coming out around that time, and it was nice to kind of all reconnect before. No, the show was coming out. The show was airing because I remember.
Yeah, I think it was in the middle of release.
Yeah, I remember it was just before episode 7 because I remember one of the after parties we watched it and Martin looked like he wanted to throw himself off the stage. No, that was cool.
I think it was just after Martin released his book because wasn't he promoting it to everyone?
we made an advert for it. Bengal, we were on Beauty and the Geek.
We were. Why do I not recognise this name?
I freaking love Henrik. Bless you. Thank you.
Is this really bad? And it's like someone that used to follow me when I played games, and I've just forgotten. But I do love the whole. I'm glad you've collaborated with me. It's like
collaborated.
I lived with him for 3 weeks.
Yeah. God, if only you knew the torture that we went through. Oh no! Wait, you can watch it.
You can.
You can watch some of it if you want.
Oh yeah, get a free trial. If you've got Sky, you get Discovery Plus for free. Yeah.
But no, I'd say that was one of my top convention things. But like I say, the stuff in LA was very special.
I so want to go to American conventions.
Yeah, it was on a complete other level, and I think Celebration as well was like my first PR gig. It was like it was just mental. So yeah, I think probably Celebration was my favourite.
I was going to go to Celebration. I wanted to, but it cost a bloody fortune.
Yeah, and it's in Tokyo this year.
Yeah, next one's in Tokyo, which is another one I really want to go to because I really want to go to Tokyo.
But I mean, that'll be. I don't know. I was speaking to some people about it, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do that. Cost-wise, it's just like I don't think it's worth it.
It's when you turn around to Disney and say, "I'll go if you pay for my flight and my hotel."
Exactly. Yeah. Get me there, and it'll be fine. I'll make you some videos.
Oh.
We'll see. But no, Comic Cons are very special. They bring a lot of people together. I've met a lot of my friends through Comic Con, and I think everybody should at least give one a go.
I would agree. I especially over the last couple of years have made some really good Comic Con friends, and that is all since I came out of my shell and started talking to people. Because I used to go to Comic Cons all the time by myself, didn't really speak to anyone, had to browse, maybe got a couple of bitches, then I'd leave. Whereas now I actually make an effort. I have friends, like Amelia's one of them here, Ethan, Joe, so many I can't remember them all. Occasionally you, which is awesome because it means me and you can catch up, and Martin, who occasionally appears at a Comic Con for some reason.
It was really nice. I really enjoyed MegaCon. You got to meet your girlfriend as well, and she
True.
was lovely.
That was her first convention, and she really enjoyed that, and she was very glad to meet you as well.
Yeah, it was really nice actually. MegaCon, I liked it. It was a bit different to the usual MCM schlock.
MegaCon is nicer than MCM in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's just a bit more. I think it's more like people focused, whereas MCM is more business focused. It's all about the money.
I agree. I was going to say it's a lot more community driven.
Is your podcast available anywhere else like Spotify? Sadly, it's not on Spotify. I want to say yet. Maybe in the future. It is on YouTube. I post it onto my YouTube channel, which I don't know if it has a name. I'm assuming it'd be Smithy Mr. 14. But if you follow me on Instagram, I tend to post a link afterwards for the YouTube channel. So if you want to find it there. Bengal, I randomly discovered Henry on Instagram, which now led me to here and will lead to Beauty and the Geek. Wow, so have you only just discovered Henry like today? Or has it been like recently and then you're like, oh, he's live streaming, let's go see what he's talking about? I'm surprised people are discovering you for Instagram.
Discovery Plus business. Still giving Discovery Plus business. That's what I'm doing.
I've been on a couple months for that. I'm surprised I thought most of your following came from TikTok for some reason.
Yeah, no, it did. But then I started uploading on Instagram a few months ago, and it's been going really well. I think I'm on like 85K at the minute or something.
Respect.
Something like that.
I fell back from
which is
over
good
1K.
because TikTok is dying at the minute. So
Shit.
just in general because of the US ban. So
Oh yeah, I saw that on the news yesterday.
yeah, so trying to jump that ship as soon as possible.
Blimey. How the world be changing.
Exactly.
So what is social media for you?
Yeah, nice. What a nice stable job I've got myself into.
But you're enjoying it, and the benefits and perks of it is awesome.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's great. It's really really great. But like a bit of security would be nice.
That is fair.
But I don't think I'm gonna get that.
You never know. The entertainment industry is forever changing. Something may happen, and it
true.
leads you to a point where you're like, boom, stable job. You may get that hosting gig that you're eventually working up to. Because I watched that podcast you were on with Martin, and you were talking about your dream job.
Yeah.
Did you say you want to be like the new Graham Norton?
Yes, and eventually we want to get there. I think that's like right at the top of the list. There's a few ladders, There's a lot of ladders.
A few steps between here and there.
Yeah, we need to climb until we get there. But we're trying to put a lot of stuff in place now, and to kind of put us in that direction. So fingers crossed. We'll see. I don't know. But in the meantime, I'll keep doing what I'm doing. Keep going to conventions every 6 months. And
I need to get to more conventions. I get to like one every 2 years. Hey, Steven's popped in to say hi.
Thanks for filling in, Henry, while I'm out travelling on buses in the rain. Steve-O, anytime, man. Like, just give me a shout. If you ever need a break, I'm around. You too, Jim?
Jim? Who's Jim?
Hang on a minute. Who the hell is Jim? You too, mate. Like, yeah. Always here.
Well, if I'm ever off, someone else has to download all of the gear.
Oh, yeah, that's true. One day we'll do the 3-person one.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely have you on as a guest, because we were talking, me and Stephen have been chatting away about ideas and whatnot, and you pretty much were the first person we had in mind to have on as a guest.
Oh, amazing. That's great, thank you.
Yeah, so we shall definitely do that, and I will figure out a layout that lets us fit 3 people in here of equal size. because I already have ideas. Thought Bubble is my jam. It's the convention I'm going to later this year. Oh yeah, Steven was telling me about this the other day. Have you heard of this convention?
Harrogate, it's near me.
What, Thought Bubble?
Thought Bubble's like half an hour away from me.
There you go, Steven. You might see
Yeah,
Henry.
Stephen, if you do come, do give me a shout and we'll go for drinks. He could be like Brad.
I was just reading that.
Emog says I'm really struggling.
Well, no, it says you could be like Bradley Walsh.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Someone said that. My old music teacher said I could be like Bradley Walsh, and I was like, thank you, Mr. Cunningham. I will take that. One day we'll get to that point, I'm sure.
Nice respect. I'd love a hosting gig. Hosting just seems like so much fun.
Yeah, you just get to say, look, this is what's happening. This is fun. This is cool. Check out this cool stuff.
Yeah. Half an hour away from Josh as well. There you go. You guys can meet my brother, Josh, if you want to go to Thought Bubble. Go meet Stephen and Henry.
Thought Bubble and Henry, yeah. Give us a shout.
Sorry if you can't pronounce my name. It's Irish, one of the hardest names to pronounce. Great. I'm going to stop trying.
Yeah, I'm sure it's wonderful. However, I'm struggling. I'm struggling a bit.
Emerg.
Yeah.
Oh, Stephen, even just hosting a panel would be fun. I remember this is what I think me and Stephen were talking about this in episode 1. We're saying like what would be like the ultimate end goal, and Stephen said he would love to be able to host a panel at a convention, which I think would be really cool.
That'd be very cool.
Do you remember
Sorry,
you first.
I pitched MCM a geek one, a Beauty and the Geek one. I think when the show was coming out.
Really?
I think I can't remember if I sent it in. But I remember we were talking about it.
I was about to say, do you remember when we were all dreaming about the idea of, oh, you never know, at Comic-Con they might invite us and we'll do a panel. It's like the Geeks from Beauty and the Geek. Oh, how our heads were in the clouds.
Yeah, we had no idea how much that show would flop. But we went in optimistically, didn't we?
We did. We went in, like, we had a good time. It'll be a good laugh. I'm sure people enjoy it. It's really big in Australia. I'm sure it'll go really well here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, the Australian one didn't even get a third season.
Didn't know, is it finished?
No, it's done. It's done now.
I think it's done here as well.
Oh, yeah, no, it is done here. They're not doing it again.
Oh, wow.
But, oh well, what can you do with a drunken sailor? That was something that happened, I guess.
I look back at it fondly. It was a fun 3 weeks.
I look back on the month of filming fondly.
Yeah.
I look back on that month, and there's certain moments where I'm like, that was awesome. Now this is going into for people watching. This is now going into Beauty and the Geek.
We knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, For the next 20 minutes or so, this is what we'll do. But the
apparently, Stephen was just saying that the UK one has just started being shown in Australia.
I'll have to tell the Australian cast to get on that because they were struggling to watch it when I saw them.
Oh, really? There you go.
But no, there's certain moments of the show that I look back on, like drinks, and the night before Stephen left was very special.
What a night!
That was very special. And then you made friends very quickly, and we all ended up in a bit teary, and then blasted Natish got me to cry on camera. Which Natish didn't make the edit. No, it just Stephen goes, "Oh, so one of us are gonna leave," and then it cuts to me going.
I wasn't even there for that, which is gutting. I missed out on all the heartfelt moments. I was
so much when I watched that episode. Do you remember when we watched the first 2 episodes? No, we watched episode 2 together.
Didn't we watch both of them? Didn't we do it back to back?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
But I distinctly remember because we'd seen episode 1 at press night. We knew what to expect. And episode 1 is actually what happened. I think episode 1 was very faithful to everything, and that was right.
Yeah, I'd say so.
That was it. Episode 2 was not. Episode 2 was not correct. Okay? And I remembered having a big grievance with the way that episode 2 was edited. And
because your date was in episode 2, wasn't it? Your first date.
Well, yeah, that was edited just incorrectly. But more so, it was Natish and the dance sequence that really wound me up. And I remember looking at you and the others, and I was like, oh, that's not, like, what the fuck? I was effing, I was jeffing, I was like, what? And you guys were like, it's not that big, like, it's all right. I was like, no, it is, that is not what happened. Sasha's the hero here, not her. That is not correct.
Oh yeah, because that was episode 2, and then it was episode 7 was the one when you went and spoke to him.
Episode 7 was the one, and I didn't realise they were filming.
Yeah.
In episode 7, someone on the show has a bit of a breakdown, and as he had a breakdown, I went out to go and comfort him. However, I didn't realise they were filming this because Natish had taken his mic off. However, they were, and that rubbed me the wrong way because I was like, I did not want this to be for TV. This was supposed to be me just comforting my friend.
Yeah.
And you guys I shouldn't have expected anything less.
That's fair. We were mic'd up constantly, so they were always listening, weren't they? Yeah. What confused me, especially in episode 2, and they did it with a lot of other ones, is that they showed our challenges in a different order to how we did them.
Yeah, they did it in 2.
Which just confused me, because in episode 2, the dancing, and they did it in episode 8 as well, with the burlesque, which it was out of order, because I remember I was the last person to dance in episode 2, and in episode 8, actually. And so I think they showed me...
Martin went first.
Yeah, it was Martin and Sebastian, I think.
In episode 8?
No. Oh, no, we're on about episode 8. Yeah, originally it was Martin, then you, then me.
Yeah.
And then they showed it, and I think they showed you, me, then Martin.
Yeah.
Which is really weird, because it's like... Bengal, if you're still here, I'm minor spoilers for the last episode, but it's been out for a while. Because in my dance, I ripped my shirt open.
Yeah.
And so, you see me, I do my dance in the edit, then I disappear, and then Martin does his dance. And then it cuts to us all joining into a line, and you see me come off the stage with my shirt open, breathing like ridiculously heavily because I just finished my dance, and it's like, it just doesn't make sense. I don't know why they had to show it in a different order to the way it came out.
There's a few bits that were edited in a weird fashion. Oh, I think my connection's going a bit.
Yeah, you've gone a bit slow. Wait for Henry to catch up. Your audio seems fine though, if not a little delayed.
I'll just keep yapping and hope the video catches up at some point.
That's fair.
Yeah, was weird. I when people ask me about the show, I always say that reality television is an exercise in improvisational acting. So if you want to go and do a reality show, scrub up on some improv. A lot of yes and. It's
True.
Like you're given a prompt that you need to react to, and you kind of have to go from there, really.
Yeah, it's a lot of, okay guys, can you bring up this topic, and then go from there. And you're like, oh, okay, so now I need to think of what we're going to talk about in regards to that.
I remember it was always a race. If it was ever like you, me, and Liam, they'd come in, they'd be like, okay, so we've got an upcoming challenge. Can you guys talk about how you're feeling?
Oh, it'd be a race to be the person that asks.
And then it would be a race to go, so guys, there's an upcoming challenge. How are you all feeling?
So that we didn't have to answer.
You didn't need to be the one to react.
Oh, there was...
that was always a good laugh.
I can't remember which one it was, but there was a really good moment when I blatantly abused that, because I think it was when we first moved in. It was me, you, and Liam. Yeah, it was the first challenge, exactly, and I turned back and I went, well, you two were up against each other, so how'd you find that?
I completely dodged it.
Oh.
And then it cuts to me pulling some absolute shit out my arse about like, oh, I'm feeling this way. I was like, oh yeah, no, this is really good. But I do find it interesting how you see, at least I can see it in myself. In the first 2 episodes, I'm very like, to me, I can tell that I'm reacting to a prompt. And I'm doing stuff that would be considered out of character for me. But then in the later episodes, it's like, yeah, no, I'm used to this.
Yeah, you very much become like yourself as you go. Whereas me, I'm an idiot, and if you put a camera in front of me, I'm going to be more of an idiot, because it's just, I'm there to have fun at the end of the day. And so I remember the episode where they came in to film us doing yoga. And
yeah.
the producer was like, "Oh, can you guys, like fall or wobble a bit?" And you're like, "No." Because I know what I'm doing and I can do it. So he was like, "I'm not doing it." So I purposely acted
I remember.
up.
Yeah, even in the edit, you're like, "Whoa, Jesus!" And I'm like, I remember watching that for the first time and thinking, "He's acted that. That's a load of bollocks." That like we were quite good at.
We
this,
were at that point. We were quite good at it. Yeah.
Yeah, because we did it every morning, and I was like, "Yeah, no, we've got this shit covered." But yeah, that was quite funny that. And then what else?
I love Stevens just said the amount of times he had to react to the room he was going to be staying in was crazy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because you were with it was Steve.
He was with Nitish for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah, and then JB got his own room.
He did. Martin and Seb were together.
Yeah, and then with the 112.
We were the 112, yeah.
We won. We had the best apartment.
We so did.
Stand by that.
It was really annoying as well because they filmed us coming into the apartment and they're like, "Oh, we want you, react to your rooms and whatnot." And so I did like this funny walk down the corridor. I was like, "Right, let's go to my room," and I did the walk, but I wasn't on camera. And then they went, "Oh, can you do that again for camera?" I was like, "No, that's a bit too far. I won't do that on camera. Yeah. But I'll do something. I'll go into the room and I'll do something." And so they started filming. I walked into the room and I literally just like dive swanned onto the bed. Yeah. I just did something dumb. Didn't use any of it. I was like,
do you still have your Mjolnir?
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh god, how I love that thing.
Ta-da!
How I love that. We'd be eating breakfast and I'd be trying to bray you with that. Like,
but it just got to a point where it was just in your hand all the time for no reason. It's like you'd have like a spoon in one hand eating your cereal and you'd just be holding it.
It's just so empowering. You guys don't understand the kind of the glow that gave me.
It's odd, isn't it? It's like the best 20 quid I ever spent.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Weighty as well.
Yeah, that's why it's just like a big block of foam.
Yeah.
My apartment was... Sorry, I was just reading what Stephen was saying.
I remember where yours was, Stephen, because we came there.
We did. It was dead Sunday and we could see you and all the girls, which is not as creepy as it sounds.
I remember that.
Oh, stories.
What a time.
I
said, I have a weird relationship with it now.
No,
it's better than it was. I had a really bad relationship with it last year. I wanted nothing to do with it last year.
Yeah.
But now, like we were saying, it's I can look back and kind of take the good parts. But yeah, take the good parts and see it for what it were. But yeah, I did have a bit of a rough patch with it after all that kicked off.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've just like I've managed to reach a point where I just like separate some of the people from the thing in general. It's like I can enjoy the show and what we did, but it's like I don't really have to care about some of the people now.
Yeah, I think I struggled with that. I do that now.
Yeah.
You and like Stephen outside of cons, it's kind of a lot because I hadn't seen you a lot since like we. Oh, this is getting a bit deep now. I hadn't seen you a lot since we did the show.
True.
Since the show came out. So then after it all hit the fan, it was like, right, like because I see Martin and Atish all the time, it's easy to kind of disassociate them from the show.
Yeah.
Because I don't see you or Stephen or Liam as much outside of it, I found that more difficult, which I guess is why I kind of shut it out. So yeah, I don't know, that got a bit deep. Anyway, Bengal Bandit says, "Bye, better get back to work for a bit longer." Yeah. Oh man, that's early. Yeah. Watch the show tonight. Yeah, enjoy it, pal. Keep up the genius videos, Henry Wilde. Bless you, mate. That's very, very kind of you. Thanks so much, Bengal Bandit. Yeah, we will definitely take you up on that at some point. Thanks so much.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
Stephen feels you. Stephen gets what you mean. I get what you mean too. It's like I really want to be able to hang out with you guys more often, not at conventions and whatnot.
But again, it's a location thing.
It is. And it's like if we're ever near the other person, it's usually because one of us is busy. So it's like, oh hey, yeah. I'm in the vicinity of you, but I have no free time.
Yeah, I've got an hour at 9 p.m. And it's like, right, well, that's not going to work, is it? Like,
It's like whenever
Yeah.
I see Martin, it's for about 10 minutes in the middle of my work shift because he'll just appear at the hotel that I work at. And he'll be like, oh, I'm at the front. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I'll come out for like 10 minutes like, hey, how you doing? You doing good? Oh, yeah, what you doing? Oh, who's you been with? Oh, cool. Yep. Cool. Yeah, have a good coffee. Bye-bye. And then I'd leave.
Yeah.
So this is one of the reasons I made the podcast. Was to be able to talk to Steven on a regular because me and Steven are just on this fucking wavelength. We're both the cosplay guys, aren't we? So we just have lots to talk about. But what I was going to say about the show, because you started talking about acting moments and how there's some parts where we're clearly just acting out of our arse. And I fond memories of just like acting out my arse. And my favourite one ever is when I won my makeover. I don't know if I've told the story on the podcast, but I reacted and I was like, "Oh my god, that's great! I can't wait to finally get rid of this beard."
Can we do it again?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard him, but the producer came up to me and went, "Okay, James,
Yes,
we're gonna do it again,
yeah.
but can you like act like we didn't ask you to grow your beard?"
Yeah. Can't wait to get this beard off.
It's like this beard that I did not choose to
And
grow
then you had to
myself.
do it again and you were like, whoa!
Oh my God.
That's cool.
I can't wait to see what a professional could do with this because clearly I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Wow, this is so cool.
Yeah.
My favourite bit is
What?
your face of pure bewilderment in the final episode when you're on the roof. Like, it cuts to you a couple of times and you're just like,
What do I do?
I remember being sat downstairs with Julie and we were like, oh my god, I feel for the lad. I really do. What's he gonna do here? Like, what's he supposed to say?
I don't know if you've ever been serenaded to. But I
You
had.
can't like click along. You can't like, whoa, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, and annoyingly, we had to do it twice as well. But it's like, I was thinking in the moment, I'm like, how do you react to someone serenading you? It's like, it's not something that happens regularly. Do you just smile? But then if you're holding a smile for the whole song, it's a bit weird. And so you just need to look happy. And I was so confused. And then when she finished, I was like, oh my God, I knew you had a good singing voice because I've listened to your music, but it's even better in person. And then I got told off because I wasn't meant to have done that. So we had to do it again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so I had to then.
God.
Yeah.
Anywho.
That was fun. I had an
time.
argument with a director that morning. A very minor argument.
Didn't we all in that day? I mean, like, essentially, episode 8 was constructed around a series of arguments with production. Episode 7 as well was...
that was a long day.
That was... I don't even know if that was legal. Like, I struggle to believe that it wasn't, because it was even. Because we started at, like, 8... which was usual call time, and got back into the apartments at like 11.
It was a long day. We spent most of it doing nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't hard graft.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when they asked me, oh, Henry, how did you feel about the waiting challenge? And I went, it was my Sunday job when I was 13. Like, fine,
yeah,
I guess.
I got to avoid all the
work in hospitality, like
I do now. It's like when I applied for the job and I was asked, "Do you have any experience in hospitality?" I'm like, "Well, I did it for like an hour on a TV show."
Yeah.
It's like it's just customer service, isn't it?
I got to avoid all the drama and just got to show up and react. Yeah, Stephen, I'm not gonna lie to you, pal. You going early meant that you got a very easy go of Beauty and the Geek.
I do occasionally think how it would have been different though if he did come back at any point, or how it would have been if Steven was in it for longer.
Because honestly, if you hadn't messed up the keys, you would have been in over Liam and Sash.
Oh yeah.
And then that changes everything, essentially, because Liam and Sash became the executors.
Yeah, executors.
Out about 3 people.
That was crazy. Do you know what's really annoying though? I don't know if it's annoying. It was just a personal gripe that I have, is that the challenges where we all did it one at a time and we couldn't watch the other people perform, I was really looking forward to seeing what everyone else did. But then the way that they cut them so much, especially episode 3, just confuses me. It's like, I'm amazed I didn't get feedback going, how did James and Charlotte win that challenge? Because we saw about 10, the radio challenge.
Oh yeah.
Because you barely see any of our bit. Yeah. I think I say one line.
The comedy challenge we had 4 minutes each, and I filled that 4 minutes, and I counted, and I think I got 20 seconds worth of my set, and yes, I won.
That was me with the radio.
I think it's because mine was it talked about sex, so they wouldn't.
True.
They were allowed to keep that in.
I did have a bit that was pretty much a Michael McIntyre bit that I stole, so that one didn't make it. So I think they cut that bit. Steven says he absolutely would have suffered with the waiting challenge and the stand-up. I don't know. I feel like Steven's a funny guy.
I don't know. I mean, everybody suffered. Well, Liam, Martin, Natish suffered with the stand-up challenge probably just as much, pal.
Yeah. But I tell you what, that bit of time when we were all in the back room behind stage,
that was special.
That was a special moment. I mean, it was fucking stressful as hell, but it was a nice 10 moments.
I'll never forget that. That was very cool.
That was a cool.
Does feel still a
afternoon.
bit like a fever dream though. I can't.
Yeah, it doesn't feel real.
No.
It's crazy.
Feels like well, I think it's because it's so separate from everything else. You're isolated with a new group of people for a month, and it's in a different area, doing something completely out of the ordinary. It does lend itself to that feeling of something completely alien.
That is true, yeah. And then you go back to reality.
Yeah, back to reality, except with a couple of friends. And it's like, wait, yeah, now we can talk about this one really unique. I can't speak to anybody else about this because they just don't get it. True,
yeah. It didn't stop me, though. I talked to so many people about it. I was like, look at this. Listen about this one interesting thing that's happened in my life in the last 5 years. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, by the way, quick little update that I've just remembered. If anyone is here from the last episode, Stephen included, I got the car. I have a new car.
Oh, marvellous.
Yeah, because my other one was rear-ended and written off. So, and I now have a new car. I was meant to tell Stephen that, and he wasn't here, but he is here now. So, there you go.
Results.
So, it's harder for me when it comes up in conversation now, says Stephen. I don't find that it comes up in conversation too often, to be honest.
I get it. Every now and again when people recognise me, they'll go, oh, yeah, that's Henry from TikTok. Yeah. Can I get a photo? Yeah. Oh, you did that reality show, didn't you? Yeah. What was it called? Beauty and the Freak? Or Geeks? No, that's not it. That's
wow. Beauty and the Freak. Yeah. That's a new one. I haven't had that one before.
Yeah. I've had every variation of that name that you can think of thrown at me on nights out from drunk students mostly.
Fair. I remember I once I was on a night out in Blackpool because that's where I used to live, and I was out with some work friends, and they had some of their personal friends, and at some point in the night, my colleague drunkenly was like, "Oh, this is James. He's on TV." Blah blah blah. And this guy was like, "Oh, really? What are you on?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna be on the new season of Beauty and the Geek." And he goes, "Oh my god, I'm gonna watch that. Someone I follow on TikTok's gonna be on that." I'm like, "Is it Henry by chance?" He's like, "Yeah, I fucking love Henry." And I was like, "Yeah, I lived with him during the course. It's really cool. I hope you enjoy the show." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I will." And then never heard from him again. But that was always good. Anytime someone,
"Oh, I love Henry. I know Henry," and it's like, "No, you don't. You don't know Henry in the slightest. You haven't a clue."
Oh yeah, I love Henry. He's like, yeah, you love watching Henry dance to Phil Collins.
Yeah. Give it 3 weeks in a flat with him.
He's an entirely different person.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. But no, it's good to have a bit of an outlet for the show. I wasn't expecting it to be broadcast on a live stream, but here we go.
Sorry. Welcome to the Two Geeks podcast.
That's good. Exactly. No, I mean, I was expecting. It's like, anyway. It's quite good. It's good to get it out. Because again, like I say, the only people I can speak to about it, Martin doesn't speak about it anymore, really.
Sorry, this is Georgia. This part says, was that drunk me telling everyone about you being on Beauty and the Geek? Any chance I got by any chance? That story wasn't you, no, Georgia. But you probably have been on a drunken night out and introduced me to this guy. That or Spider-Man. The amount of people at work who knew me as Spider-Man, like I had colleagues' children only ever knew me as Spider-Man because
that's cute.
Because I'd be introduced as like, oh, look at this is this guy, and oh my god, Spider-Man. So yeah, that was cute. I wonder I haven't seen them in ages. But yeah. I was actually Spider-Man at George's son's birthday party.
Oh, that's sweet.
I haven't done that in a while. I need to fix my suit.
Yeah.
So, at this point, near the end, it's usually when I ask Stephen what's his latest obsession been, like what's taken over his life. But I have a feeling you're probably going to say Helldivers 2.
I'd say Helldivers 2, or I can't stop thinking about June.
See, this is why we need Stephen here, because we were talking about this the last episode, and he's super excited to see June 2, and I couldn't give less of a shit.
Oh, right. No, I'd say Helldivers or June. It's just... when I first watched June, I was like, that was absolutely amazing, but I'm not going to think about it that much. Saw it again, and after that second viewing, I can't stop thinking about it.
Well, it's the second one.
The second one.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind. Like, the visuals alone are just amazing. So, I'd say June has lived rent-free in my head for the past 2 weeks.
That is fair.
And Helldivers. What about you? What's new?
My latest obsession... Oh, God, I don't remember. I keep jumping from thing to thing. But my current obsession is I've started watching The Rookie.
All right, what's that?
It's a Nathan Fillion show about him being a rookie in the LA Police Department.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's got like 6 seasons. It's been out for a while now, but it's when it first started coming out, I remember watching like the first couple of episodes, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. It's it's a cop drama. It's Nathan Fillion, who I enjoy, but I just didn't keep up with it. But then since then, it's just this constant clips of it on TikTok, and every time I see a clip, I'm like, this is a really good show. I should watch this show. And then I found it on Sky. So it's all there. So I was like, here we go. So I just finished season 1 this afternoon. Yeah. And I was going to start season 2, and then I realised, shit, I only have so much time before I start the podcast, and I have stuff to do. So I didn't get to start season 2. I'll do that later. But what have I been gaming? Because last time I was speaking, it was Baldur's Gate 3 and Persona... No, Baldur's Gate 3 and Persona 3 Reload were the games that take over my life, which are both really good. Persona is probably not your thing because it's like an anime-esque game, but it's really good. And you should definitely play Baldur's Gate if you haven't. But then it's a fantasy game.
I hear amazing things about Baldur's Gate.
So good.
Yeah.
Yes. But I also got Assassin's Creed Mirage for like £3, so I've been dabbling in that for a bit.
Yeah.
Bargain hunter, mate.
No, a good selection there then.
Plenty to choose from, though literally the only thing I've done for the last week besides work is watch The Rookie. It's like, oh, I can play my game. No, I'm watching The Rookie. It's really good. If you like cop dramas and you enjoy Nathan Fillion humour, The Rookie, recommend it.
I don't have Sky is the only thing.
Now TV?
No.
No, never mind. I don't have Sky either, but my parents do.
Ah, well, there you go.
Steve, there you go. He's not even on the podcast, but he's still chiming in. Stephen, Final Fantasy Rebirth took over my very being for the last while, which he did say he was very excited for.
Yeah.
When it doesn't cost as much, I will get that, and then I'll replay Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then I'll play that. Because I do really want to, because they are really good games. Yeah. Anyway, awesome. Yeah.
All right, okay.
Cool. Thank you again, Henry, for joining me.
It's been a pleasure to make my first appearance on the Two Geeks podcast. This has been a lot of fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I really have. I was really worried that you were going to be on it, and I know you're more experienced with more, I want to say, upper scale video quality.
No, not at all. No, it's not. It's nice to chat to. Whenever I do podcasty stuff, it tends to be with people that I don't know that well. So it's good to actually do it with someone that I know very well, and yeah, no, it's good. It's really good fun.
I'm very glad you've enjoyed it, and I'm glad you said your first appearance, because that pretty much confirms that you will come back and do.
Absolutely. Take this as my contract. I will be back at some point.
Amazing. I have several ideas that we can discuss with Stephen. Do you know what? My headphones have just told me they're going to die soon, so this is a perfect time to bring this to a close.
There we go.
So anyway, thank you all for joining us this episode. Thank you for all the new followers, everyone chatting. Thank you from 2 over the pond, Louisiana. That's a stream goal that we've ticked off, so thank you very much for that. And again, thank you so much, Henry, for joining me and filling in for Stephen.
Of course.
Can't wait for the next one. And everyone else, just be awesome and see you next time. Laters.
Bye.